Liverpool have lost 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace. 5 things we learned from the game. Break down in the comments for me. Are Liverpool in a crisis, a mini crisis? Is this a bump in the road? We're going to break down 5 things we learned from the game and where Liverpool have to go from here. For me, 6 losses out of 7 spanning the Champions League, spanning 2 games against Crystal Palace. This one and, of course, Selhurst Park in the league. 4 in a row in the Premier League as well. Really concerning times for Arne. And I have to praise the video by saying that yes, many young kids were playing in this game. Rio was obviously involved. Morrison was involved. Gordon came on. I thought he was absolutely superb when he came on. Ramsey, Woodman. So a changed Liverpool side. They got some really big fixtures coming up, but still, Crystal Palace rocking up to Anfield. It shouldn't be as easy as it looked. And Arne Slot's got some big things to address going into the next few fixtures and obviously the international break as well. The first thing we have to talk about are the goals. They are absolutely incredible. They are works of art from Crystal Palace, who are proving themselves time and time again to be serious contenders for big cup competitions. I know it's early in the League Cup, but don't be surprised if Crystal Palace win the League Cup this season. They're one of the best sides outside that kind of traditional Big Six. There's no Manchester United. There's obviously no Liverpool anymore. They could have a serious deep run in this tournament, and rightly so, because Glasner's a fantastic manager. Obviously beat Liverpool in the league, in the Community Shield as well. Sarr scores the first goal. It is crazy bad defending. Kamada all game in the first half was firing these kind of first time balls through the lines between the midfielders for Liverpool, and it kind of bounces around the back line for Liverpool. I can't believe where their midfield is. Endo, Nioni, a million miles away from the back line. Munoz has run onto it and it bounces off of Gomez into the feet of Sarr. It's unlucky from Joe Gomez. Nothing really he could do about it. The keeper, what can you do? It's just bounced very luckily into Sarr's feet. It's a very composed finish. When you look back at it, even top-level Premier League footballers on 100 grand a week, they snatch at chances like that. It's a very good finish from Sarr. His second goal, his brace of the game, was absolutely staggering football from Crystal Palace. Again, Kamada's getting this ball. It's a little bit deeper than the first goal, but he's getting this ball and he's already looking up. If you look at the highlights, he's looking up early and he plays a first-time ball straight through the lines of Liverpool yet again. Liverpool's press nowhere near close enough. I think it was Rio who was trying to press him. Liverpool's press nowhere near as aggressive as it used to be. It's not easy with loads of young kids coming in, but you always felt that Crystal Palace had lots of space and time on the ball in the first half, and that is a big concern. The ball goes between the lines into Pino, does a little 1-2. Sarr plays it into Pino, round Endo, gets the ball back from Pino, and it's an unbelievable finish across the keeper's body from Sarr. Pino was absolutely scintillating today. He really was. And the little 1-2 around Endo is a little bit, dare I say it, embarrassing. I thought Endo at points today was a little bit out of touch for the physicality that a Crystal Palace side can bring. Of course, they've got great runners. They've got great physical specimens in there. Sosa was brilliant. Hughes was fantastic. Sarr, Pino, Nketiah. They're very hard-working, hard to break down. And at points, I thought Endo, he had the runaround, didn't he? They were giving him the runaround at points, and that second Palace goal was a great example of it. We'll talk about the Pino goal now because Pino just gets this unbelievable opportunity, and he just buries it, opens his body, gets it around the keeper in the second half to make it 3-0. Liverpool are a big football club. Yes, we're going to talk about the likes of Salah, Isak, Van Dijk. They've all been rested for this game. But Liverpool's B-list side for a home game against Premier League opposition in the League Cup has to be more than just throwing kids in and saying, oh, well, we surrender it. Liverpool are the most successful side in this competition's history for a reason. They've taken it seriously. And yes, they're in a bad time. Yes, they've got a few injury concerns. But you have to go back to the transfer window and say, how have they not got any kind of depth similar to Arsenal? Obviously progressed against Brighton tonight, looked very good in the game. The likes of Gomez, Robertson at kind of left side centre back, the backup midfield of Nioni, Endo, Morrison on the wing, very young kid playing there. It never felt like Liverpool, particularly in the second half. They got hit early in the first half by a very lucky goal, let's be completely real. But in the second half, they had one shot I can remember. I think Kerkez got forward for one of the only times, really. Whipped a great cross in. And it was Gordon who missed a pretty straightforward header. But apart from that, in the second half, the way Liverpool flagged on their energy and they kind of limped out of the League Cup, it was a touch embarrassing. Crystal Palace could argue with the European campaign they have, which is ugly compared to the glamour of the Champions League and the Thursday night nature of the Europa Conference League, and the fact they're Crystal Palace, that they go to Anfield and they still put out a very strong side. Maybe it costs them further down the line. And yes, Crystal Palace do have Real Madrid coming up. But you still have to say they treated this game with a lot more respect, a lot more intensity that Liverpool could ever match. That's a big, big concern for Liverpool going into the remainder of the season. Nala obviously gets a red card. It's his second straight red card for Liverpool. He's only played 2 games. His first game was at the start of this year. He was blocking Devaney running through. Could have been, 3 or 4 at that point for Crystal Palace. I think the red card isn't great. It's not really Arne Slot's fault. It's terrible defending. I think the attitude of the Liverpool side is Arne Slot's fault. I think the quality of the squad, if you lose Konate, Van Dijk, Salah, Isaac, the B-list side for Liverpool still has to be good enough to compete against Crystal Palace. It never felt like Liverpool were close to competing today. So the first thing we learned from the game is that Arne Slot, for me, has got some big, big challenges. Aston Villa at home. I tell you now, they're a really, really good side, Aston Villa, right now on form. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Forest, PSV, it's a tricky game there. PSV, all these sides will be looking at Liverpool and licking their lips currently. Obviously, they'll improve with their starting 11, but West Ham United away, maybe the last time that Liverpool can really breathe until going into the Christmas Day period, the December period. West Ham United, that's a month away, end of November. Liverpool have to start winning football matches. It's crisis mode if they don't get at least one win between Forest. I think Manchester City could be a winnable game if they apply themselves in the right way. And of course, Aston Villa on the weekend. So the first thing we learn, Arne Slot has to address what's going on, has to address how Liverpool bounced back. Yes, a lot of rotation, but still you had the likes of McAllister in there today, Chiesa, Kerkez, lots of good quality footballers in that side with the kids, and they've lost and been banged by Crystal Palace at home. That is a big, big concern. The second thing we learned is Chiesa playing a kind of floating role today down the middle. Obviously, the mainstay of that attack alongside the likes of Morrison, Rio, very young kids. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was electric, running the lines very, very well. The way he carries the ball is silky. I think he's a positive for Liverpool, no question about it. Joe Gomez, I know he's injury prone. I know people try and wrap him up in cotton wool, but I still think there's a great defender in there. I know he was semi-culpable for the first goal, but I think Gomez can be seen as a positive. I think he's a big asset to Liverpool in the next few weeks to shore things up. Even if that means seeing that double bank of Robertson, Kerkez, and then you see Gomez alongside Van Dijk with Frimpong when he's back. Having a back 5 could suit Liverpool, and Gomez is a part of that. Endo and Robertson, I don't think Robertson had his best game today. He's being played slightly out of position. Endo, for me, a million miles off of it. If you think Endo is a part of the squad, you can't move him on. There's not real interest. If Endo leaves Liverpool, where does he go? He goes to a mid-level Spanish side, for example. That means you need to replace him with world-class quality. And Liverpool didn't do that in the summer. That's a big, big concern. And then we have to talk about Crystal Palace. Another big win. They've smashed Liverpool in the Premier League at Selhurst Park. Liverpool haven't learned their lesson from that game. And that would be a big, big red flag. If I'm a Liverpool owner, I'm looking at Arne Slot and thinking he's not even bouncing back from the same side that he's lost to in recent weeks. That's a big, big concern. Whether it's an A-list side or a B-list side, big, big concern there for Arne Slot, in my honest opinion. Things have to change. There's still time for Liverpool to change things up. But losing to Crystal Palace at home in this fashion, for a side, the most decorated side in League Cup history, big, big concern. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Liverpool out of the cup. Make sure you subscribe if you watch this far, and I'll see you very, very soon.